Oh, big up, everyone. Look. Whoa, here he is. There's our new manager, Mikel Pulis. There he is. Hope you like him. Mikel Pulis, just in case you've had a bad day. No, it's all right, guys. It's not our new manager. It's just someone that looks like him. But there you go. But I'll take him off because I don't want to give everyone a fright. Don't know why we call it Mikel Pulis, but welcome, everyone. Welcome. We've got absolute legend panel here on a Thursday. Big up the chat. We've got Jez. We've got Kenny. We've got Arron. How you doing, Jez? You okay?
Yes, mate. Yes. I'm fine, mate. Me on, matey. I just got back from... I was a bit late getting back, actually. Just decided... do you know what I fancy for my tea tonight? I thought I'd fancy a big, fat, thick fillet steak. I thought...
Oh,
here he is.
I'm going to treat myself, man.
Can't beat it. Can't
mushrooms,
beat
it. Chips and steak. Yes.
Oh, lovely. Lovely. Yeah, you can't beat a nice steak, can you? Can't beat a nice steak. And I've got, what can I say, Kenny? We're never far apart, my friend. How are we doing? All right?
Oh, we're all good. You know what's happening, like you can tell like the Premiership is, in terms of like its dominance over our minds, how much it's killed international football. I haven't heard one word about England's game. No, I don't even tell what date it is. I know one of the games against Andorra and one of them is at Villa Park. Apart from that, it's one of those things where I think maybe people like yourself see the international break as the biggest inconvenience. It's an unwanted break. You wish you had it. You had who we meant to be playing on the Fame. I bet you guys wish we were playing Forest already. Yeah. Get out of the way, get a little quiet out of minds, and have something to like get our teeth into the Forest at home.
Yeah, no, I'll make you right, Kenny. I mean, this international break always comes this time of year, doesn't it? You just get into the swing of things of the Premiership and everything else, and then the international break comes along, and it just upsets the apple cart. But I'll be honest with you, I think the international break has come at the right time for Mikel, especially after Sunday. I think he's pleased that he ain't got another game because the pressure going in, if it had been this week, can you imagine the pressure he'd have been under going into this game? It would have been immense. How you doing, Arron? You all good, mate? I know you're in a different location there, but we can see you and we can hear you loud and clear, my friend. How you doing?
Yeah, that's good, mate. I'm glad the internet's holding up. I'm just at my boys' football training at the minute. I've got my baby girl daughter in the back, so if she makes a little peep, yeah, that's who it is. Yeah, I ain't kidnapped anyone. But yeah, now other than that, listen. Firstly, world class chat. I'm always grateful to be invited on to talk to the chat. But as well, these are the panels I love, man, because the IQ minus mine is throughout the roof. So it's one of them sort of occasions where I can sometimes just shut my mouth and just listen to the absolute Arsenal knowledge, the football knowledge from the other three, from you, DJB, from Jez, from Kenny. I must admit I love being on panels like this. It's fantastic, and I don't mind being the not the dumbest one here, but I don't mind being miles behind you, wonderful so and so's.
No,
I'm quite happy with that.
Not at all, Arron. Don't put yourself down. Mate.
What you're saying is you just like sitting there listening to our bullshit.
Yeah.
I suppose. Yeah, I'm a sucker for it. Yeah. Yeah. I could sit and listen to it for hours. I have done. I've sat and listened to it for hours, and long may it continue.
Oh, bless you, man. Bless you.
Yeah.
But no, listen. You have to have us three old gits around. I'm afraid you can't get rid of us easily. Me, Kenny, and Jez are not going anywhere, people. So be aware if you think we're going anywhere, we're not just yet. We're not just.
It's our pleasure, honestly. I'll speak for all the chat. It's our pleasure.
Yeah. No, big up the chat. That's everyone's in as well. Big up the chat. So, guys, what I'd like to get on with is. I came across this today about Martinelli. This is from the Arsenal stuff. Mail Sport understands that Arsenal were open to selling Gabriel Martinelli at the start of the window. However, they had valued him for more than 60 million, while the interest was only reaching 40 million mark. This deterred the club from pushing to sell him. So, Les, I'll come to you on it first. The club has said that they wanted 60 million for Martinelli, and they've tried to sell him, apparently. But there he is rocking up against Liverpool, and it looks as if he's in Mikel's plans. And I don't quite know where I stand. I mean, me and Kenny have been saying that if you can get money for him, get him gone. And when we go on a bit further in the show, there's another reason that baffles me. But what's your take on this? Is 60 million too much money for this guy at the moment, if we were trying to sell him?
I personally think, look, if you're trying to offload a player for the betterment of the player, if the club wants 60 million, but the figures coming in around 40 million, and he's not really going to be with major plans in the club, then let him go. I don't know whether he wants to go, but let's be honest, he's not really doing well at Arsenal anymore. I think he had massive potential, and I really, really rated him. But let's be fair, the last 2 seasons he's dropped off a cliff, mate. And for the benefit of the young man, I would have said if they could have negotiated maybe 40, 45, then let him go. Because why hang on to an asset that, unless he has a marked improvement this season, his value will go down again. So get what you can get for him. Let him go to somewhere else where his trade, he can improve, get back to where he once was. I think personally, if you want my honest opinion, I think Martinelli's pissed off with Arteta. I think he's bored with that voice. He's bored with the tactics. He doesn't want to play left wing. We know that. So I think it's a bit of a disgrace, really. If he is part of the setup of Arteta this season, I find it odd because he hasn't improved under Arteta. But then again, I don't know any player that's ever improved under Arteta. So should have let him go, man. Should have let him go.
Yeah, no, facts. I mean, 60 million seems... if you'd have told me 60 million 2-3 seasons ago, I probably would have gone, yeah, I think we can get 50, 60 for him. Kenny, we're in a funny situation, aren't we, with Martinelli? Because everyone knows our view on Martinelli. But if this is true, if the club was asking for 60 million, were they serious about selling him, or did they put that price tag on him so no one would come in for him, knowing that no one would come in for him and he'd still be at the club?
I think what's happening is market value is that one of the things we've always said about, complained about in terms of getting rid of our players is that, not putting them in the shop window. Well, if any player's been put in the shop's window, it's Martinelli. Despite the fact that he hasn't had a good season and he hasn't been playing well for a good 2 years, in my opinion, he's still a prominent member of the squad. He's still, if he isn't starting, he's coming off the bench. He scored against Real Madrid. He scored at Anfield. So it's not as if he's not in a shut window. And his age as well, his contract as well. I think 60 million is probably about right. Right. But you know what will happen is that the clubs that may be interested, especially maybe the ones in Europe, aren't going to pay that because they're going to look at the situation and think, hang on here, we're not getting a player in form, and they are going to try and knock Arsenal down. So, the best I would get was the 40 to 45 million. Let's not forget as well, the guy doesn't want to go either. He stated publicly, as recently a few weeks ago, that he's more than happy to stay at the club and he doesn't want to go. So that's another stumbling block. But it doesn't surprise me that the club are looking to offload him. I thought it was something I suspected. I'm as much as I'm surprised that that he hasn't gone. I'm just as, in fact, more shocked that Trossard's still at the football club. I'm stunned that both of them are at the club. But in terms of the Martinelli thing, watch this space. Regardless of whether you play where you play Eze or where you play Madueke, they have to be in front of him. You're only going to play Martinelli and Hawks, maybe away from home horses, courses at best. But if you're going to want to be on a front foot, he's the last player that should be starting games for us.
No, facts, man, facts. Arron, 60 million seemed, Just goes to show how far he's fallen, isn't it? Because no clubs.
Yeah.
I mean, if this is right, no clubs come in for him at 60 million. No clubs even tried to come in and say, "Well, look, we'll offer you 50 million." And when you look at his wages he's on and look how he's playing, is the manager forced to play him because he's on such high wages and he still thinks he's part of the team? Is he playing him weakening the team? I mean, it's just crazy, isn't it? It's just crazy that no one's come in for him, and I believe they set that bar because they weren't really serious in selling him.
Yeah. Well, look, I agree with points that both Kenny and Jez sort of made. And I'll say another point that I've said on a couple of shows this week. Martinelli's leaving for free. This was the season. We all know that once you get to that 2-year period, you get 2 years and you're like, that's the max really you're going to get from a player. If he's got 4 years, if he's got 3 years, if he's got 2 years, when you go down to 2, yeah, there is some drop in transfer value, but not loads. And not like there is from 2 years to 1 year. And the problem that we've all said is that he is not performing very well, like what Jez said. And let me actually just jump on what sort of Jez said as well, because I think it's absolute facts. No one wins keeping Martinelli. No one wins. The player doesn't win. Arsenal don't win, because now we enter a period where he's either going to have 18 months left on his deal, and we will absolutely get less than the 40 offered in it with 18 months left on his deal. A player that, like Kenny said as well, isn't performing, is on astronomical wages. Astronomical wages. Luis Diaz was on 55k a week when he went to Bayern Munich. Why do you think they got high fee for him? Why do you reckon it was so easy to negotiate with Liverpool and the player? Martinelli, you're talking about a player that isn't on as much form as Diaz was. Maybe had a good or better ceiling once, i.e. 2 years ago, and he's on 180k a week. Arsenal, and always say it, have handcuffed themselves massively in the market into this player. So you're going to be going into a situation where, with 18 months left on his deal in the winter window, are Arsenal going to go, well, maybe we kind of need bodies in that attacking area, in that left wing sort of area. We'll keep him until 12 months. And then you go into a scenario where who is going to then pay him 40 million? No one's going to pay 40 million for a 12-month Martinelli on 180k a week. And Martinelli may get offers, but he's going to get offers in the region of maximum probably 100k. Depending on what club it is, maximum. So he's probably looking at half in his wages. He's probably going to stay at Arsenal Football Club until them 2 years are absolutely up. Arsenal had a great opportunity to, should that obviously the £40 million be true. By the way, it's worth noting that would have broken Arsenal's sales record. And I'm not saying that as a positive. Unfortunately, that's also a bit of a negative. But if we'd have got £40 million for him, I'm fairly sure that would have made him the biggest sale in Arsenal history. I just think that Mikel Arteta, to answer as well something you said, Dee, before I stop waffling now.
No, go on, man.
He doesn't have to play him. Bearing in mind, it's different to what we've seen with Mikel Arteta and his own players. When he signs a players, he's more inclined to play him, i.e. the Calafioris, the Havertz, the Marinos. He's got that stubbornness because he signed them. He didn't sign Martinelli.
I don't know what happened there.
So there is that scope as well to sort of say, he definitely doesn't have to play him.
No.
I actually can understand why he played him against Liverpool, because I see now Martinelli as more of a defensive left winger. I've coined that phrase a few times. He is a defensive left winger, because I'll tell you what, he ain't a bloody attacking one. I can tell you that. Any attacking left winger would have threaded through Gyökeres, or if he's not going to do it, beat your man and then square the ball, or beat your man, cut in and put it in the back of the net. And Martinelli done absolutely neither. Yeah, it's a real frustrating one, because 2 years ago, I'm looking at a player and I'm thinking, Klopp's going generational talent. I'm looking and thinking, wow, we might have a real player here. And for whatever reason, whether you just blame it on the player, blame it on Mikel Arteta, the system, a bit of all three, he just hasn't done it for Arsenal Football Club. And that's the unescapable truth. And would it have been best for everyone if we would have sold him for £40 million? Absolutely. But did we? Sadly not.
And the thing is though, Jez, it's true. What I mean is, Arron's made some brilliant facts there, and the thing is, this is what we're doing. We're constantly selling. We're letting players go for free. Now that Martinelli potentially now just could go for free. Trossard could end up going for free, couldn't he? I mean, we could have 2 or 3 players going for absolutely nothing. Do you know what I mean? It's just crazy, and I'm sure Berta's aware of this. But if he is staying at the club, how is this manager going to get the best out of him? Does he keep playing him? Does he drop him? Does he just use him as a bench player? I mean, what's going to happen with him?
Well, this is the big worry, isn't it? Yeah. There's 3 points to this that I can think of, and I've talked about in the past. When Unai Emery had Martinelli, he was scoring goals, right? Scoring goals. Looked confident, looked a very good potential player for the future. Arteta's come in, and this guy's gone down, down, down. Now, I think part of the problem there is his boring tactics. As I said last night when you were on DJB with Northside, the late show, that Arteta seems to rein the players in. He doesn't let them have freedom of choice. And that is a detriment to players that like to play with freedom. Look, attacking players like to be free. They like to roam. They like to be given the chance to show what they can do. Under a different manager, I think you'd see Martinelli at a different club be a totally different player. His value will drop if he doesn't improve this season, because potential buyers, let's say January in the window, are going to be looking at him thinking of his performances from now till January and thinking, nah, you're not worth 40 million now, you're worth about 30. You have to also, third point I want to make, look at what the club has done to these players in the fact of putting them on big wages. Because rather than we buy players in, and this is Edu, man, this is Edu and Arteta together, right? Rather than bring players in of value, they were just putting these players on stupid money. I'm sorry to have to say it. Martinelli is not worth 180,000 a week. I'm sorry.
No.
He ain't worth anywhere near that. 100,000 a week, possibly, right? But when you look at the performances that's been coming out of this player for 2 years, he's not, no way is he worth that. And that will put off potential buyers. Because they're going to say, you want 60 million plus he wants 180 grand a week? No. Not happening. And we always shoot ourselves in the foot. This has happened for way too long now, right, under this current management regime, where you put people on big money and then you can't get them out the door and they walk out for nothing. And again, loss of revenue. And that is the club, mate. That is you can blame nobody else but the club for doing that. You can't blame the player. The player may drop off in performance because he's not happy. He doesn't want to be here, right? I mean, Kenny said he does want to be here. I like Martinelli. When he was at his peak, he was bloody brilliant, I thought. But that's gone.
Yeah.
And you have to then, before I shut up, you then have to say, whose fault is that? It's the manager, the coach, whatever you want to call him. He's not being coached in the right way.
100%.
I don't think DJ, Arron and Kenny and Chat, I don't think he's happy playing under Arteta. He might want to be at the club. Yeah. He probably loves it at the club. Now, why wouldn't you? You're at Arsenal, right? You're at Arsenal Football Club. And if he was to leave, where do you think he'd go? He's not going to be playing for a big club like Arsenal.
No, he'd be they're either got to loan him or take him on a free. He'll either end up at Saudi. Kenny, I mean, we've said all this about Martinelli, which leads me on to this transfer spending this summer. Now, everyone will tell you the reason why Liverpool are where they are is because of the amount of money they've spent. But if you look at our net spend, look at our net spend is 257 million. We're top of the tree. We're top of the league. So he's won something, and he Arteta. You know what I mean? So if you look at that there, that's quite alarming, Kenny, isn't it? You look at the sold, 10 million sold. 10 million And we've just been talking about Martinelli will probably end up going on a free. Trossard will end up going on a free. You know, all these players. We've still got Jesus languishing about on the sick bed, 280 odd grand a week. He's probably going to end up being bombed out to somewhere for next to nothing. Don't know how Havertz is going to come back with all his knee problems and his hamstring problems. Who's going to come in for him? So looking at that, Kenny, there's no argument. I mean, anyone that comes in and says, "Oh, Liverpool, look what they've spent," but look what they've sold, 220 odd million pound. And then you look at Chelsea. How did Chelsea do it? Look at Chelsea, 314 million pound in sales. Almost 202. Go on, Kenny.
You've got to remember one thing is that we've never really done it well. We've never done it well. Got some news on my thing. Daniel Levy has stepped down as executive chairman of Spurs.
Wow.
Daniel Levy, after 25 years, has stepped down from executive chairman at Spurs. Breaking news.
Wow.
Is he still part of the club?
He's stepped down as executive chairman of Spurs. Daniel Levy.
Wow.
Breaking news.
You've heard it here. Breaking news as we on the huddle. Daniel from the legend Kenny Ken.
This is an Arsenal show. But we have family. We have friends who are Spurs fans, and they'll be intrigued about what's happening. Anyway, back to Arsenal, because this is an Arsenal show.
No, it's all right, man. No, that is big news. No, that's big news.
I've done my news. I know I've done my bit. I've helped you all out, Spurs fans. I know you're avid watchers of the show. Now I'm going to do what I do best, talk about Arsenal. Anyway, back to the Arsenal.
What do you make? Yeah, what do you make of all of this? Tying all this in with Martinelli, Kenny, and look at the sales. I mean, a club like Arsenal with the players that we've had in recent years, and we've only sold like 10 million. I mean, it's just ridiculous, isn't it?
Well, the situation is with Arsenal, this is what we brought Berta in for. I always say, when it comes that Berta's work, his biggest job isn't buying players. It's always going to be player salaries and player departures. You know, he's only just got here, so we have to look at the situation and what we're going to be doing in the summer, and maybe even start with January. But I can tell you categorically right now that if we want to do as well as their counterparts in getting big money for players, you have to play them. Regardless of what you thought of Darwin Nunez, he played big games for Liverpool. If he didn't start the games, he came off the bench. So, despite the fact you may think he was a success or a failure or a dud, whatever you want to describe him, Liverpool got a significant amount of money from him because he's been playing games. And he's in the shop window, and he's also in the shop window for his country. Luis Diaz, desperate to leave Liverpool for at least a couple of years. Bayern Munich, big money, and that's and then Harvey Elliott as well. He played games. He was a fringe player, but he played significant games for the football club, and that's where we got to do better. If we're going to want to get big fees for our players, we have to be put them in the shop window. I'm hearing Besiktas maybe in for Trossard, 22 million. I think the club should go.
Bite their hand off. Absolutely,
bite their hand off for that. And then Zinchenko's already gone. So as much as we're critical as such of how we've dealt with player departures, let's not forget we have got Zinchenko out of the club with an obligation to buy. We got Kivio out of the club, who's not good enough. We paid off Tomiyasu. Thomas Partey, we didn't offer him a new contract. Some of us, from footballing reasons only, would have liked it to be extended, but the club made a decision and they bared their teeth. So we have done some things right. And remember, we've got Eddie Nketiah out of the club as well. And we got Smith Rowe at the club, so it's a big money. But what I'm trying to say is that we need to be commanding fees of 60 million, 50 million, those kind of fees where, where they're proper per assets. The sort of fees that Liverpool are getting for their players. Especially the Liverpool side that's won the league.
Yeah. Tottenham have got the Kenny. They've frozen him.
Now, go on, Kenny. You still there?
You heard me?
Yeah. Go on, mate. Yeah.
No.
StreamYard. Go on, mate.
I know what Jesse said, mate. I know the shock has got to me, but this, as I said, it's an Arsenal show. But as I'm saying, beginning to sort of like conclude, we have to get command higher fees for our players. We're getting them out, but let's command higher fees for them. And that's, if we can command higher fees, and I think that's where we can make some of the money back. Because at the end of the day, we're probably one of the only few clubs in the Premiership that can afford to let players go on a free. Liverpool can afford it. Chelsea can afford it. Man United can afford it as well. But other clubs just can't afford it.
Yeah, no, Arron.
Yeah.
I mean, I see your face when I pop that up. You might have seen it, bro. But when I pop that up, I saw your face because you've been really you've obviously been in support of Berta, and you've always admired like Berta coming in and buying the players and all of that, and but you said that one of the biggest jobs he's got to do is move players on. When you're looking at that, I mean, because you hear it, don't you? Oh, Liverpool. But our net spend is like, look at it, it's ridiculous, isn't it? I mean, what you saying on it, bro?
Yeah, look, it's the players that he had to get rid of. You've also got to bear in mind a lot of the players that he's had to get rid of are players that he hasn't been a part of. So you've got to also appreciate that. You know, he didn't sign Lokonga. He didn't give him, all right, he's only on, well, I say only 40k a week. But the Vieira signings, you know, he hasn't done them. And also what he's got to work with is a manager that ruins players' transfer fees. So to a degree, we've got to figure out a way. But the players that we've let go of, the manager really has destroyed. And the player, you know, you can't always just blame the manager. But partly the manager, or mostly, I think, has destroyed these players. So you look at, there's so many examples of where you've signed someone, like a Mikel Merino. Like he's now been signed 35 million quid, right? And he had 1 year left on his deal. He was 28, 29. We're not getting any value for him now. We don't really play him because he's got Eze's in and all things like that in there. I know we did it at Liverpool, but as we see the season go on, you'd like to hope that players like that, how are we going to sell him in the future? You know, how are we going to sell all these players? He freezes them out. We see it with Aubameyangs. If you want to stretch all the way far back with the Ozils, etc., whether they was wanting to leave or whether it was the right thing to leave them or not is irrelevant. The fact is we didn't have to rip up their contract. Sorry, look at Chelsea. They paid 30 million for Aubameyang. That was only 6 months later, was it? You know, So you're dealing with a manager that really does know how to probably destroy a player's transfer value, and it's probably hard for Bert to come in and do that. What we've got rid of. A lot of the crap, like what Kenny said, you know, Lokonga's out the building, Vieira's out the building, Reece Nelson's gone, Zinchenko's gone, Kivior's gone.
But we ain't
really,
had no money
you're sort of left with, and that is a frustrating sort of thing. But the value's not there. All right, it is a job to get some of the value, but I just think, look at Fabio Vieira. You signed him 35 million after a season, or even some way through that season. He don't like him, and then that's it. He doesn't rotate him or put him in the shop window like he has done a Martinelli, what Kenny was saying. He just freezes them out. And what does that do, boys? It just means that, wow, he's that poor of a player that I don't want to play him at all whatsoever. What signals does that sell for a potential buyer? You know, that you're then looking at a player that's like, well, he's not only not playing him, he's completely freezing them out. So it's really difficult for someone to come in. What I would like Arsenal to improve on in terms of getting these values beyond the 40-odd millions is selling players at the right time. Now, we've missed the boat with Martinelli. We've all said that. That's fine. But now I'm looking at the Martin Odegaards. People are actually sleeping on the fact that he's only got 2 years left on his deal. He's on 240k a week, that man. So what do you do with him? Yeah. If you don't give him a new deal, which will probably, unfortunately, sadly, ridiculously, include a pay rise, what do you do with him then? Like, do you give him 260k a week and give him a 4-year extension? But then knowing that he ain't good enough to warrant that, so you're just prolonging not being able to sell him. Should you have sold him? This is what we're sort of saying. We aren't able to sell these players. The Kai Havertz, 280k a week. We'll never get anywhere near the money back for him. The geezer's raking it in. So whilst, it is very frustrating that, you know, Berta or whatever regime aren't able to get money from these players, but we're not doing ourselves any favour. And I don't think, obviously, that, because of time, can't be Berta's fault. I've been critical of him And I do expect better from him. Now he's bedded in. Now we've got rid of a lot of the deadwood. I expect him to be looking at the squad and going, okay, Calafiori, are you going to do it for me this season whilst you've still got 3 years left? If not, get me 35. Get your money back for him. Get me 35, 40 million again for him. I'm going to be looking around at other players in the squads. Ethan, are you being played? Are you what? If not, if an excellent offer comes in, sorry, son, I don't want that, by the way. But I'm just saying, we've got Coutinho. Liverpool didn't want Coutinho to go. But what happened when they sold him? They bought Virgil van Dijk and they bought Alisson in. These are the sort of signings that you've got to be looking at. So, you know, I'm not saying Ethan necessarily, but you get the point that I'm saying. There is value in this squad. And at some stage or another this season, we're going to see who we're willing to keep and who we're not. And this is where I expect Berta to step in. Marino, are you doing well? Sell him now while he's got some value and he's not 31, 32 at the end of the season. And this is what I want us to start doing. You know, maybe we will have to sacrifice someone. I don't know. But look, there wasn't a lot of transfer value in what he had to sell anyway. They missed the mark with Martinelli. Absolutely, they did. It's just now you just got to look to see how they deal with the rest of the players in the windows coming too. You know, I expect a lot better from Arsenal, and I think we all do.
Yeah, no, it's facts. I mean, the thing is, you have got assets there. You have got assets there, and sometimes you do have to sell your assets to balance the books, don't you? You have to sell your assets, you know, to balance your books. Then you have to look at perhaps your players that are fringe players that are getting games but not getting enough games. Do you sell them? It's selling at the right time is the key, isn't it, Jez? I mean, you know, Ethan Nwaneri, for example, and we'll get on to the Champions League in a minute, and I just want to, I'm going to touch on Ethan Nwaneri and everything else, and I'll get the Champions League squad up. But like Ethan Nwaneri, for example, I mean, if he's got no plans for this young guy, we could get in the region of 35, 40 million for him if we sold him, couldn't we? I mean, so holding on to them and just using them as kind of squad players or bench players, if you like, is just doing the club damage, isn't it? I know the fans want to say, well, what do you want to get rid of Ethan for? Squad depth. What are you saying on it?
Look, this is what really frustrates me about this manager. He brought him in, gave him game time. Guy looked impressive, young man, scored goals, some really good goals, and then he gets benched. This is Arteta's way. He's done it way too many times in the past. We've seen it. And this is why he will never be a great manager. He doesn't know how to manage his team. And he's proven it time immemorial. The guy is a fool. If you don't want the guy, if you want him to be a bench warmer, that is very unfair on a young player with great potential. And this is once again showing how poor a manager he is. Because if you don't want him, sell him. I don't want to sell him. I think he's a great one for the future, if you want my honest opinion. But it'll be interesting. We'll see very shortly what he does with Max Dowman.
Yeah.
Young kid, 15, soon to be 16, comes in, pre-season, friendlies, all that drama. Has played games. But will Arteta have the faith in him enough to play him? To actually, I mean, this is what I think is so annoying. Why do you do this to players? You bring them in, you give them hope. Those young kids, right? They've come in and go, fucking hell, I've made it to the first team. Brilliant. Here we go. They're going to be so upbeat. And then they get kicked in the nuts, right, by Arteta. And I'm not talking about putting nuts on tables here, Kenny. You know what I mean? And he destroys the confidence. So what happens here now, we've got a young guy in Nwaneri, right? He's probably thinking, what the fuck have I done wrong? What have I done? Because you would give me game time. I was proving that I've got the ability, and now you don't play me. I turn up and I just sit on the bloody bench. And you'd rather have Arteta would rather have Havertz up front. Fuck off, man. Havertz is a scrub.
I know.
Stupidly, 2 years ago, say there's a player in there somewhere. Well, yeah, proves how much I know about football. But at the end of the day, I don't like what I see from this manager with these young kids, right? If you're going to bring them into the squad, bloody play them. Show what they're worth. And then maximise their potential. And that means maximising potential means maximum profit on selling.
Yeah, exactly.
Facts.
Exactly. I mean, Jez, honestly, this is the problem. I mean, Kenny, I've got one for you. It was in the chat, Saliba and Saka, their contracts. I mean, in football terms, are getting near. It doesn't seem that close, but in football terms, you know, contracts running out in 2027 and we're going into 2026 soon. That's quite close, isn't it, to sort out contracts?
Well, it's extremely close. Let's not forget, Bukayo signed a contract, I think 2 or 3 years ago.
Yeah.
For a reasonable amount of money. That was when Bukayo Saka was an up-and-coming player. We just challenged for the top. We were challenged for the title around 22, 23. 3 years down the line, he's now a player that's played in championship runnings. He's now a fully fledged England international. He's looking at a situation where there's life with Arsenal, but there's life after Arsenal. You know, he's going to want all sorts of assurances. He's going to be wanting to know if the manager's still going to be there. He may love Mikel, so Mikel, he may sign a new contract if he sees the same sort of commitment from Mikel, or he may look at the situation and said, "Look, we've still got these players coming in. We've got a much bigger squad, probably arguably a better squad. But if we don't win anything this season, I've got a year left of my contract. When I play for England, Phil Foden will show me his Champions League medal. And then when he's bored of showing me his Champions League medal, he'll show me his league title medal. Remember, I'm pretending to be Saka, by the way. And then I'll look at the Liverpool players, and they'll do the same. I didn't even get a FA Cup winners medal because I didn't play. Saliba's another one. He goes to France. You know, they've won the same amount of trophies for their respective clubs, and some of them won the Champions League as well. So it's a case of like Saliba, if he signs a new contract and he's got an ambition to play for Real Madrid, and also say 4 or 5 years, that means immediately he's going to have to. Real Madrid are going to have to make him the highest paid defender in their history, and they've got to pay us high record fees for his services, which may put him off. So he's going to look at that and think, no, I'm not going to do that, because if Real Madrid can't call him, they'll be put off by the money Arsenal looking for. So that's a major problem. So he may not even care whether Mikel's here or not, and it may not be dependent on that. He's going to think, hang on here, I sign a new contract, Real Madrid won't come calling, because he's not an Arsenal fan. He's just an employee of the football club. So it is worrying. And let's not forget, even if we win things, it's not a guarantee. Trent Alexander-Arnold, as scarce as they come, won a lot of Liverpool, but still wanted to go to Real Madrid. So it's one of the case example. When you've got young players, one's an international, one's a French international, and they go away with them and meet their mates and camp duty for their countries. It's a hard one when you're just in the falls of coming to the end of your contract. We should be worried, because we need to know two things: what Mikel's doing with his contract, and most importantly, we need to know we need success quickly. We need a Champions League and a Premiership quickly to keep these players, because if we don't, they'll leave.
Yeah, no, that's facts, Kenny. And I think that's every Arsenal fan's worst nightmare, is losing your top players, especially like people like Saka. I mean, Jamboy, big up the chat, guys. Thank you very much for joining us. Make sure that you sub into Jez's. Make sure you sub into Arron Talks, and make sure you're also following Kenny Ken. We've got 70 odd in the chat. Make sure you smash your like on here. That will help the channel grow. And big up to everyone. Yeah, it is a worry for any Arsenal fan, Arron, isn't it? I mean, Saliba's the one for me, because I don't think out of the two, Saka's got some sort of not, I wouldn't say allegiance, but he's got some sort of feeling. But
Yeah.
Saliba, I mean, I can. A lot of people are saying to me, I can see him going in January if the right offer came along. I mean, if PSG come in for him or Real Madrid come in for him, I can see Saliba being on his toes because he ain't really got any loyalty. And you got to remember, this manager didn't trust him in the first place when he had him out on loan all that time, did he?
2 years. All right, COVID caused some of that, but 2 years still. You know, he could have still chose to keep him after that first year instead of sending him to Marseille. You know, she sent him back to Lorient. Was it St Etienne maybe where we signed him from? I think the first year, but that COVID happened, didn't it? So they wanted to send him back for the second year. Yeah, they could have kept him because, as we all say, was he better than Mustafi? Yeah, absolutely. So look, you're right. He's got no allegiances. I know what you're saying with Saka. You know, he's born and bred. He loves the club, but look, there comes a point in all of their lives. I believe Thierry Henry, albeit not born in England, not born supporting Arsenal, he sort of, there come a point in his career where he just went, you know what, I need to leave to win trophies, and that hurts all. We probably all saw it coming, but that's what the big players do. And the best players that have aspirations of being the best players via showing you what their silverware or their trophy cabinet looks like, you're not getting it at the minute at Arsenal Football Club. So while I sort of think, maybe Bukayo Saka has another contract in him, or I'd probably be more confident in saying that he would, there will also then come a point in that, because he's still only a young lad himself. So Saliba, you know, less so with Saliba, you know, like what Kenny's saying, he goes to Real Madrid and he links up with Mbappe, Tchouaméni, Camavinga, just to name a few, and they're going, come here, look, you've got a young group of French lads over here. You've probably grown up for the under-16s in France, probably even earlier and so forth to the first team. Oh, by the way, we win Champions Leagues and we're competing for the league and all the other cups every year. Why don't you come over here, mate? Because they'll be saying that to him this week. Don't you worry about that. Regardless of what personnel's on there, they'll be saying to Bill Saliba, here, mate, you've got 2 years left on his deal. He's on 180k a week, Saliba. Yeah, Real Madrid, no problem. No problem sticking 100 on that instantaneously. Here, Arsenal, how much do you want? Or do you want to part us around with him for another 12 months? And we just tell him to come for free again in 2 years' time. Because that's the power that Real Madrid have. They'll say to him, look, you know, we don't mind offering you this, but we'll also wait for you for 2 years. You're 23 years old. Real Madrid are in no rush. Would they like to have him now? Yeah. But if the player wants to leave Real Madrid, or the player wants Real Madrid, he's going to Real Madrid. It's only a matter of when, not if. And this is where Arsenal again leave themselves in a real sticky scenario where, all right, they've got a few deals tied up this summer, so it hasn't been disastrous in terms of negotiations. Gabriel, you know, there's a couple of others. But when you got your Saka, your best winger, your best player, your best creative outlet over the last 5 years, your Rolls-Royce defender, all on that sticky 2 years. You got your Odegaard, which I personally don't mind leaving, but, you know, your captain, if you wanted to coin that to make it sound worse, you know, you've got all of these players on 2 years. Martinelli's that were of value.
Yeah.
What, you know, something's got to be done. I know there's no transfer window for contract negotiations, but you still kind of need to hurry up, didn't you? Because the longer you leave it, 2 years minus,
you're letting them go for free.
You relinquish all negotiations unless you want to blow them out the water in terms of financial figures. And then what happens after that, boys? We can't sell them if they don't fulfill their potential.
Exactly.
So it's a real sticky thing. They needed to have already done them 2 deals, or do them very bloody quickly. I can tell you that. The reason why,
exactly, but one of the reasons why I want the deals done quickly before we get onto the Champions League that's round the corner is if there is going to be another manager coming in, and anyone can come in and have their say. If there's going to be another manager coming in, they're going to want guarantees that the types of the Saliba and the Sakas are going to be staying at the club. Because if a manager comes in, potentially, we could be losing Saliba, we could be losing Odegaard, we could be letting Martinelli go on a free, we could be letting Saka go. I know we've got players in, but prize assets coming in, any manager coming in, they're going to want some sort of security that he's got players to work with. You know what I mean? Anyone come in on that? I mean,
I think you're totally right on that. And Adam, in your chat, has made a great point. I think that's a great comment you've made there, my friend. You don't join Arsenal, win silverware. You just go for the wages and put yourself in the shop window. You know what I mean? That's something, isn't it?
Big up, Adam.
Hard to argue.
Sums it up, doesn't it? Really, that's what we are.
Yeah.
That's what Arsenal is now, you
Yeah.
know. But to get to your point, mate, I think that's very important what you just said. Any potential, and let's be honest, we all know, all four of us here, right? We've seen it enough. All managers will go eventually. It's history. They all will leave at some point, whether they're sacked or whether they leave voluntarily. Right now, we know Arteta ain't going to walk out the door easy because he ain't going to walk away from 15 million a year. And the damage is continually being done. A new manager coming in, when he does go, and he will go, we'll want sureties to say, right, I want these players, I want this player, this player, this player, this player. I don't want him, he's crap. I want this player, I want this player. I don't want him, he's crap. I want this player, this player. Now, that is where Berta has got to step in there and say, yeah, don't worry. Saka is staying. Saliba's staying. Gabriel is staying. Odegaard, he's going out the door. He's not good enough. Da. We're going to keep the young kids because they have potential for the future. Right? That has to be stated and done before. If we lose Arteta, and the sooner the better, and we get back to being a proper football club, then we get a manager in who'll say, right, I'm working with these boys, I'm working with you, and we'll get some of the players that aren't firing right now. Yeah. Asm says, yeah, Mourinho, Mancini, Don Carlo would cook with these current squad. Yeah, I agree with you. Simeone, yeah. Any one of them managers will get a tune out this team right now. And the sooner we can get rid of this absolute idiot, right, of a manager, who I never wanted him. I didn't want him as a player. I won't lie. When we bought him, deadline day from Everton, panicked buy by Wenger, I thought, what are we doing here? But that's another story. But at the end of the day, I totally agree. Any new manager coming in is going to want, right, this is my list of players. Right, DJ, you just become manager of Arsenal Football Club, right? And you're sitting down with the board. But you haven't signed your contract yet. And you're saying, right, this is the list of players I want to keep. Some of these can go out the door. They're just not levels. They're not good enough for me. Right? They're not going to work with the way I play. They can go. Or you can put them on the back bench. Right? Because at the end of the day, any manager would do that. Wenger did it. George Graham did it with his squad. George Graham was a ruthless bastard, right? Wenger was a bit of a ruthless bastard, no, wasn't he? He sort of said, well, we know what happened with old Thingy Bob, Van Persie. Basically, Van Persie didn't like the way the club was going, and Wenger said, well, you can go then. I don't believe Arteta is that sort of person myself. I think Arteta's way is to be a narcissistic, arrogant bastard and force players out like Aubameyang and all that lot. And he forces them out because they argue with him and go against him. And I'll tell you right now, I'll make a random thing. If Arteta stays here for another season, you're going to see trouble from Gyökeres.
Yeah, I've said that.
Fact.
I've said that. I think that's a storm waiting to happen with Gyökeres. I think he's going to get more and more frustrated as the time goes on. We've got a few idiots in the chat, but they've got nothing better else to do, have they? They should go and play their PlayStations or go and play with themselves. But they're banned. And I keep saying to it, come down to the Emirates. I can give you where I'll give you where I hang about. You're more than welcome to come and have a little chat with me. I'm not one to hide behind a camera. I don't need to.
I didn't see it.
But there you go.
Yeah,
but,
a couple of plebs. You get them.
Yeah, you're going to get that. You're going to get that. Let's get on to the Champions League because Super Duper Mick announced these. He announced these squads today, didn't he? That he's taking his A team, if you like, to the Champions League. And here we go, guys. So he's named his squad for the Champions League, a bit like you have to with a World Cup. He's taken his three goalkeepers, David Raya, Kepa, Tommy Setford. Remember him? He's still there. And then we go down defenders: Saliba, Mosquera, Ben White. I thought he had an injury problem, Ben White. Hincapie, sorry if I've said his name wrong, chat. And Gabriel, Timber, Calafiori, because that's his new kid on the block, isn't it? Calafiori.
Yeah.
Martin Odegaard, Eze, Norgard gets in now. Trossard gets in now. He was going to be sold not so long ago. Didn't want to be at the club. Madueke, Mikel, Super Mikel, Kai Havertz.
Funny he's listed as a midfielder, though, isn't it? Just quickly, sorry to cut you there. Why is Kai Havertz listed as a midfielder?
Yeah, exactly.
Funny,
he's a striker, isn't he? Funny that, isn't it? Isn't that
it's
funny?
the same on the club official on the official one. I can see you're looking like you're on the UEFA one, but they've done it on the official one as well. Funny
They've done it on the official one. Yeah, I just wanted to put the UEFA one up as well, just to show that he's definitely a midfield player.
Yeah.
Max Dowman gets in. Bukayo Saka, Gabriel Martinelli, and Victor Gyökeres. Gabriel Martinelli a forward, by the way. Kenny, there's absences there, aren't there? Are you shocked, surprised? And the two absences there is Wanyeri and Super Skelly, who everyone was gassing up being a superb left back, got an England call up, the next best thing since sliced bread. And I've said it, Skelly's going to end up like Tierney and Wanyeri's going to end up like Smith Rowe. But what you saying, brother? Because I was quite surprised with that.
Can I just jump in there before we go to Kenny?
Yeah, go on, mate.
That sums up exactly what I just said 15 minutes ago about Nweri.
That's why I put it in there, my friend. Absolutely facts, Jez. Absolutely facts. Kenny, what's your opinion on this Champions League squad?
Well, Kawaja says they're in. I think they think they're in the B squad, but B squad. But that's no consolation. I'm actually gobsmacked because it's the first time I saw it. I didn't look at the squad because I just assumed that both the lads would be in there. I'm absolutely gobsmacked. No. I mean, and I'm not. I've got no beef with Miles Lewis. Sorry, not with Max Dowman's inclusion. But as far as I'm concerned, if I'm Wanyeri, that's an insult. That's an insult. I'm sorry. I'm not. I know there's a lot of fans who are completely enthralled, excited about seeing Max Dowman. They compare him already to Yamal. They say that he gets him out of seats, but I'm sorry. If you're Wanyeri and you've had experience in this competition, and it's the guy who virtually plays in your position is ahead of you, I'm sorry, that's just not acceptable. That's not acceptable. It's nothing to do.
The thing is, Kenny, right? Norgard's over Nweri.
Well,
sorry, go on, Ken. Sorry,
it's not Norgard who's taking his place. It's Max Dowman. Let's be realistic. It's Max Dowman who's taking his place. Max Dowman should not be there. Max Dowman's a 15-year-old. We're not going to win the league or the Champions League with Max Dowman. Yes, it's nice to give him a bit of a run around, but what does that say to the guys that have signed a 5-year contract? Max Dowman.
And he was sold a dream, Kenny. He was sold a dream. You're going to be a massive contribution. You're going to play more central.
It makes sense that in terms of like the subs bench for European games, home and away, Wanyeri would not be one of the people who initially might be on the subs bench. He's in the B squad, and I'm assuming that the reason why they're both in the B squad because there could be someone in the A squad, may get an injury or may be sold, but it's a huge slap in the face. I'm really, really disappointed on Ethan's behalf. And then you look at the situation of Miles Lewis Skelly. It just tells me what we suspected in pre-season, that with the renaissance of Calafiori and the fact that I probably think that teams have been to work him out, that he was going to fall down the pecking order. But even then, it's a massive, massive disappointment. I mean, it was only, less than 6 months ago, he was playing in the Champions League quarter-final in the Bernabeu, having a good game. A few months before that, he scored against Man City. He was like the next best thing. He's now going to England duty. He's probably going to start for England in the next 2 games, and he can't get in the A squad. That is a very, very disappointing. But unfortunately, with the amount of players we've got, and we have to admit their quality. Someone's going to be hurt. Someone's going to be disappointed. But I do take exception to Max Dowman's inclusion on the basis that it sends a very, very bad message to Ethan Nwaneri. It's not favouritism. I've got a lot of time for both players, but I don't understand why he's included when Ethan Nwaneri's got more big game experience. He's the better player in terms of where he is at the moment. Max Dowman could turn out to be a better player than Ethan Nwaneri. That a lot of people think that's going to happen, but at this stage, it's not. I'm not telling Max Dowman to wait his turn. What I'm saying is that his exclusion is at the expense of Ethan Nwaneri. So you basically based it on what you saw in pre-season and what you saw in the Leeds game when he got a penalty, and you're basically saying Ranieri, well, you're behind a 15-year-old. Why don't you send him on loan then? Let him go on loan, so he doesn't have to suffer this indignity. Send him on loan to someone like Palace or another team in Europe or Villa. Don't leave him here so he can just twiddle his thumbs at Anfield and then twiddle his thumbs where he's not even going to be one of the subs in the Champions League, voyage, especially the league stage. It's an insult. It's an insult. I take it as an insult, and it's not because me and my brother have met his dad and we know his dad from the gym. I would say that about any player. If Max Dowman had the experience of games that Ethan had, and Ethan was the upper scumming star 15, I'll object to Ethan's inclusion over Max. It just happens that that's the decision that Mikel's made, and I'm very, very disappointed and very aghast at it. Miles Lewis-Skelly, I feel terrible for him, but that's what football's like. When you're 18 at that stage, everything is rosy, everyone loves you, and then what football does to you, when you're not expecting it does that. When you're not expecting.
Yeah. Kenny, I can see when I put this up, I can
feel they've got a big smack in the gob.
One thing I will say, on the face of it, what Kenny and Jez, and obviously definitely what Kenny's saying there is absolutely right. If there is genuine replacement, it's undefendable. One thing I will say is a point I do want to make, and I'm probably wrong. I just have to ask it, and we might be able to debate it. Is there not also a scenario where in which we just haven't got enough first team British players to register, and all they've done essentially is just roll a single name out of the hat? And by that, I sort of mean we haven't got obviously a lot of English players. We've had Eze's come in like that. Is it just the fact that Miles Lewis-Skelly is automatically registered because he's homegrown and he's under a certain age, so would automatically be included in the Champions League squad anyway without registry? Only the difference is we were just one player out, so they just chose Max Dowman to register. So I actually think that they are all registered anyway via the fact that they're homegrown, but they didn't put down or register in terms of like their actual official squad enough home-based players, so just had to pick one. I just have to put that out there because I think it would be absolute madness if that wasn't the case. And the younger lads, i.e. Ethan Nwaneri and Miles Lewis-Skelly, wasn't automatically registered anyway, and they said no. So then you're looking at them thinking, why the hell is Norgard in there? Why is the hell is Max Dowman picked over him? But if all three, i.e. Max Dowman, Ethan Nwaneri and Miles Lewis-Skelly, are automatically qualifiable anyway because of their age and homegrown status, maybe there just is a scenario where the club just had to pick one of them to register to meet UEFA guidelines. I might be talking absolute shit, but I just thought maybe it's worth mentioning, because then it's just like, well, yeah, I do kind of get still, why wouldn't you put the more established player on the team sheet? But if they're all maybe qualified anyway, then maybe that's sort of why they've gone, oh, shall we just G Max up and put him in there? But all three of them are qualified to play anyway. I just thought I'd raise that point. Maybe all three of you just go, you're talking shit. You're absolutely wrong.
No.
But I thought I'd lob it out there anyway.
No, it's a good point, Arron. But I think the thing is you have to have an A and a B, and I think they probably will be named in the B squad. But if you're a young player and you kind of not been listed with the elite here, and you've dug him out the crap like Skelly has, Wanyeri's played a part in big games, and this A squad gets in. It's like being in the school football team, isn't it? And you get your A team and your B team, and you're barking at the door A team, and then suddenly the PE guy or whoever runs the football comes in and says, "Oh, you're in the B team. You got to play for the B team today." And you think, "Oh, right." You know what I mean? It's a kickback,
totally, yeah. I mean, that's still the same.
On that basis, he would have been better if all three are registered anyway. I thought it would have been more of a confidence booster to put Wanyeri in there than Max Dowman, because that's telling me he's got Max Dowman in front of him. Do you see what I'm trying to say?
Yep.
I mean, it's true.
No, that's facts.
I mean, I just don't get it. I just don't get. I mean, there's a few players I've been worried about at Arsenal, and now I'm worried about another one, like Skelly, Jez. You know, Calafiori's now, he's kind of Kai Havertz of the defending world, isn't he? Do you know what I mean? Calafiori's he's sort of like next best thing, and now I don't know where I'm going with this, because we haven't really got an out-and-out left back, and Skelly's been doing a job, but he ain't even going to get a chance in midfield, is he? I mean, the only way that Skelly and Wanyeri's going to get a run out in the Champions League is if we're absolutely battering someone or there's a load of injuries. But looking at this, and I understand what Arron says, he's made a brilliant point. Looking at this, I don't see that Skelly and Wanyeri is in his plans.
No, I don't. And that's the whole point I was trying to make, right? For some unknown reason. I mean, I don't like Skelly at left back anyway, to be honest. But this is the point I said. For some unknown reason, and where he was part of Arteta's plans at points last season, now he seems to have been pinned off. And this is Arteta's way. We've seen it so many times. He's done it with numerous players, right? Yeah. He did it with our proper left back, Tierney, the best left back, right, that we could have had, and he got rid of him. Didn't suit his style of play or whatever it was. Idiocracy, if you want my honest opinion on that one. And now we've got a situation with this young Lewis Skelly. Where is he going to slot in? Where is he going to get the part he should be playing? Because now it seems to me he's another one being and where he been. You know what I mean? And this is Arteta. He's such an arrogant man. Yeah. And this is where I say to you, and I would not be at all surprised at this, right? The players are getting very pissed off with him.
I think they're confused, aren't they?
Maybe even now, even now, it could be right now that the fans are saying, "Fuck you, Arteta. Fed up with your style of play. Bored with you. Don't want to play with you. Don't like your tactics. Don't like your attitude. Don't like what you say to people. Time to go. Get out."
Yeah.
So this could be another little nail in Arteta's coffin, and I hope it is. But rather than nail it down, I want to fucking screw it down. I don't want to back out of it.
Put a lump of concrete on it and throw it overboard.
Yeah. You know what, guys? I'm really. I don't normally get this attached, to little squads like that. But as much as people try to, say there's a compensation kind of sort of like angle to this, that they're not out of the squad altogether in the B squad. That's no consolation to those lads.
Sorry, mate. Sorry. I apologise for being rude to you. Look at that fucking comment. What a wanker. Dear, oh dear. Sorry, Ken.
This is silly, Sam. Get a hold of yourself. Show some class. You're going to do all that. You're not going to do anything of the sort. You just
let's just keep it real, guys. Let's keep it real. Come on.
You're not going to do it. You're not going to do it. I promise you.
No, Kenny. I mean, you were saying about. Listen, I know that you know it's A and B, and it don't mean a lot. But to those young lads, when you see this over the Arsenal official website, when you see it on Sky Sports,
that will hurt.
And you haven't seen your name in it.
No, that will hurt. That will hurt Ethan. That will hurt Ethan, and that really would dumb down my guys' MLS's confidence. You have to go back to last season. The MLS story was a very wholesome story. You know, a young lad making his debut. His mum was there. The relatives were there. His grandparents are there. We got taken in by that, and it just shows you football's got a way of just kind of, letting the bathwater out when you're not expecting it, or you're in a nice, wholesome bath, luxurious bath, and then someone, when you're not looking, puts the cold tap on. That's how it feels. It must feel for the player. I'll tell you, the best tonic for Ethan is going away with England. Going to England, St George Park, and starting games. I think he needs that kind of thing, because we kind of know it's going to hurt Ethan when we play Nottingham Forest. He's probably not going to start, and then in a few days afterwards we've got a Champions League game, isn't it? Who's the first game? It's a away game, isn't it? Against
Bilbao, I think, is it?
Bilbao, yeah.
Yeah, I was just going to come on to that.
That will hurt Ethan.
Yeah,
it'll really piss off Ethan, but it'll hurt MLS. It will hurt MLS a lot, because you're thinking the whole MLS story. The mum's there, the friends are there. It's good news. It's probably Thames News. Back in the day we used to call it Thames News, but London Tonight doing a little feature of him. You see his mum. She's so proud when you see him in the players' entrance. It's a case of someone's got to pick the lad up, because it don't look good. A, B squad, C. The A squad's the only one that matters, not the B squad.
That's the one. That's the core that he's going to pick from, really, isn't it? I mean, it's a difficult one, because I don't know, man. I mean, I just feel sorry. That they've been left out. We all knew that Ethan weren't really going to be in his plans long term. We saw evidence of that last season. Do you know what I mean? We saw evidence of that last season when he weren't getting games.
If you don't, sorry, cutting DJ. I apologise.
No, go on.
But if the club don't want him, and if he's not part of a tatter's plans, the best way, the win-win, is to put the guy in a shop window, give him a few appearances, give him a few games, and then come January, come summer, we can sell him off for a significant amount of money.
Yeah. That's what I was getting at, Ken, as well, earlier.
Me and Arron, we spoke about this last season. We and DJB and Jess, I said Brentford. That's it. The line's drawn there. There's no coming back from the Brentford game.
Yeah.
100%. No, it's 100%. But how do you think this Champions League is going to fare out? Do you think it's been a good draw for us? Do you think? Because I think our home games is going to be really key. I think you've got to win your home games in the Champions League in any competition. But I've always said that I think this squad is more built towards the Champions League, the way we kind of retain the ball. You know what I mean? I just feel that we're more suited to the Champions League rather than the Premier League. However, I think it's a tricky group. I can't lie. I don't think it's going to be easy. How do you think we're just going to do? Because it's coming up. We've got Forest after the international break, and then we're away in Bilbao. It's so important that we get off to a good start, isn't it?
I think Bayern Munich always puts shivers down my back. Watching us getting battered 5-1, 5-1. They're not happy memories, are they, for any of us?
That was my first year, Jez, of a season ticket, sadly. That.
Yeah. It's not a good memory, is it? Let's be fair.
No.
And they're not the team they once were, but it's still a big danger, man. I'll tell you a banana skin, and I'll predict you this one. Bruges. They can be a banana skin. easily get caught out there.
Yes, yeah, tough one.
And I do agree to a point with you, DJ. We are, I think, pretty much more set up to be in the Champions League than the Premier League, which I find that worrying. I do, because if we're a team that's pretty much set up for the Champions League and you're fighting against the best of the best in the latter stages of the competition, it was proven last year, couldn't get it over the line against PSG. And so does that set us up for more failure? Well, obviously, I don't think this manager's got the tactical nous to win the Champions League. And I'm sitting here now thinking what we've been talking about and what you just said. If that is the case, then we're in deep shit. Because if we can't win the Premier League, right, with the team players we've brought in, then we've got major bloody problems here. Because the Champions League is the toughest competition in domestic football in the world. And I don't think this manager can deliver it. I think with this squad, with a better tactical manager, could deliver it. I think we have got a decent squad here, but I don't think this manager's got the mentality to do it because of his poor tactics. We know what he does. Arsenal go 1-0 up and he'll go defensive. Or he'll try and do a stupidity thing, like he did at Liverpool at the weekend, go there, set up for a draw, and hopefully come away with a point. Now, that is not the mentality of winning in Europe. In Europe, you have to win, win, win. And you have to prove it. You have to put the other team on the back foot. And we can't do that in the bloody Premier League. So, last year, I'm going to say this, I'm going to make a statement, which probably upset a lot of people. I think last season we got lucky in the Champions League. Personally, I think we got fucking lucky.
Yeah.
Right. We had a very poor Real Madrid, very poor. They had a shit season. And certain other teams we played, they weren't all that.
PSG weren't at it. I think they had a few injuries as well when we played them the first time round. Semi-final, we got
they had a few injuries and a suspension, I think,
Yeah,
you're
exactly.
right. The first time we came up against a good side that were banging form, we were terrible. We lost both legs. Jez is right. You know, we sort of had it a little bit sort of easier. All right, you know, Real Madrid is a good scalp to take. No one's knocking that, but they're not a Real Madrid that were banging form, very cohesive. They were quite disjointed out of form, Real Madrid. And like I said again, and I'll repeat, with the second we played PSG with a few of their players back, with a little addition of Kvaratskhelia, and they started to get their football going together. We were a different. All of us are on this panel, everyone in the chat as well, said to all them top gooners that said, well, we've already beaten 2-0, so it's a given. We're getting to the final then. We all said it's a different team, a different stage with different pressure and a manager that knows how to do it. And look what happens. The proof was in the pudding. It's absolute facts. With the Champions League in terms of the group, we've got the trickier teams, I'd say, at home. So if there's any consolation, if you want to start nitpicking, I agree with Jez. Bayern Munich give me nightmares. But I'd rather them at the Emirates and the Allianz. And the same with Atletico. I'd rather them play at home than away because that's a very, very... It's a tricky home tie, let's get that right. But it's also a very tricky away tie. For me, maybe Arsenal are better suited to the Champions League. Maybe so, because over 38 games, I just don't think that they've got it. But in saying that, I'm not saying that we'd be favourites. I just think under Arsenal, we need to get a Real Madrid out of form and out of sorts, and then I think we need luck of the draw. I think we need the game to go our way. I think we need a refereeing decision. I think we need this. I think we need that to win it, which tells you that you're not the best team in it if you're looking for so many other variables to go your way. I'll sort of say this. My battery may go, so I do apologise if I cut.
No, that's all right, Arron. You've done well, mate. You've done really well.
What I will say is I think this Arsenal team are ready to win major trophies and get to the latter stages of a Champions League, but this manager is not.
Yeah,
this team's there, ready for it, but I'm sorry, this manager isn't. He just isn't. This is one of the best squads we've had in a very long time, gentlemen. And it's managed by a bloke that just don't know how to get the best out of it and cannot get it over the line. And that is a big issue, because you get natural cycles in teams all the time. You get a cycle. We're coming to the sort of, if not at least the the final third of it, at least maybe even the last quarter of it, in terms of players will leave. Players will be sold. They'll get older, etc., etc. We could come to the end of this cycle under this manager and not win anything. And that, to me, is a very big worry. And this Arsenal team is too good to go for a 5, 6, 7 year cycle and not bloody win anything. And ultimately, that will come down to the manager. Ultimately,
the players
100%.
need it. The players need success of some sort, don't they? I mean, we've got to wrap it up in a minute, but make sure. Thank you for the chat, guys. We've had a few people in the chat that we just don't really worry about chat. And DJ, you're getting where are we? DJ, you're getting it at the Emirates. I said, okay, mate, no worries at all. Thank you very much indeed for your comment. Always appreciated, Sam. Sam, if you don't like it, there's other channels you can go and watch. You haven't got to watch me. No one's telling you got to watch us.
Hey, DJB, are you scared?
Mate, honestly, honestly, man, you know what it's like, Kenny, didn't you? You know what it's like,
guys. There's an old saying: those that talk about it never do it.
Yeah, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
People are going to do it are the ones you don't know.
Yeah, listen. No, as I said to you before, listen. No one's got to follow me. We've all got our favourites around. It's not a problem. Ain't a problem at all. Ain't a problem at all. If Arron's gone, just want to say big up to Arron. Make sure that you're subbing to Arron. Arron talks at Arsenal. He's spinning his car. He's been on his laptop. The battery's gone. But big up to Arron all the time. Thank you very much indeed, my friend, for coming on. Kenny, Champions League, just round the corner. I'll give you this question before we close. Are we going to do better in the Champions League or the Premiership?
I think the Premiership's still our best chance of silverware. The Champions League is lovely, it's exciting, and it's anyone's after when you get the quarters. It's anyone's tournament, and we're well equipped to win it. But we just don't. It's about luck in it. It's about the two legs. You know, you can never say never, because I only started picking them PSG as probably the favourites from about last 16 when they beat Liverpool. I thought, well, no, I don't want to be playing them the way they played, especially that second leg at Anfield. But prior to it, when the tournament started, I had Real Madrid retaining it. So you just don't know. You just don't know. But one thing, the only facts about the Champions League is never underestimate Real Madrid's ability to come back and win it. There's a reason why they've won it 15 times.
Exactly. 100%. 100%, mate. 100%.
Remember, they've got Militao back. They've got Carvajal back. They've got a new addition to Trent. And Mbappe is now looking like the main man. I mean, everyone thought he had a bad season. He scored over 30-something goals.
Yeah,
can you imagine? Exactly. Imagine, and I say it with respect, it's not doing Dan Jude Bellingham, but I think it'll be easier for the team to gel without him in the side, because there's too many players are going in each other's spaces and want their day in the sun. So they got that to contend with, but you know they're going to be strong in the Champions League again.
Oh yeah, definitely. There's some big hitters in that Champions League. I mean, it is going to be exciting. I mean, I quite like the format. I think that league format's good. I quite enjoy that. I think there's on every single game there's something, isn't there? That's what I like about it.
There's no rubbish games. You know what I mean?
There's no rubbish games.
Can you imagine it? Our game when we played the team that knocked out Celtic. I apologise. Well, team, is it from Kazakhstan? Are they from Kazakhstan?
Yeah.
Kazakhstan.
Oh yeah.
Who knows? By the time we play them, we may need to beat them to even to avoid the playoffs.
Exactly. We might need 3 points against them, and they might. Yeah.
You made a really interesting point about Club Bruges. Are we playing them away?
Yeah.
We've
Can you
got Bruges
imagine it?
away.
Imagine it when we play them away, that stadium, and they're right on top of us, and their players get going. Can you imagine if we don't contain them, don't get an early goal, and they get the first goal against us? That's an hard game.
Oh, every single game's going to be something on it.
We lost. They amalgamated with Bruges. I can't think their name now. They done us in the Europa Cup. UEFA Cup. Sorry, they beat Arsenal. They amalgamated with Bruges. But that was a long time ago. Yeah, it's a team called K-Rat Almaty.
Yeah,
got my home.
Oh, that's the same. Yeah, that's it. But we may get the points against them. But Bayern Munich, they're going to come to play football. They're going to come to dominate and get the points because they're going to need the points. Remember, they needed the playoff to get into the Champions League knockout stages as well. They beat Celtic. It's Celtic. You know, it's one of those games where you think about it, Real Madrid are playing Man City and they're playing Liverpool. That's a major game. Tottenham PSG. That's good for the cameras, isn't it? Newcastle PSG.
We've got some tough games, Kenny, DJ.
Yeah.
Arsenal, Bayern Munich, Inter away, Arsenal, Atleti, Bruges, Olympiacos at home. Well, we know what they can do to us.
Well, their fans getting passionate.
Yeah. So,
is Marinakis is going to be in? Is he going to be in there? Is he the chairman of Olympiacos, Marinakis?
I believe so. Yeah.
Is he? Okay, I don't know. Then got Slavia Prague away. That's a tricky game.
Slavia Prague away is going to be tricky. They're all them sort of clubs are tricky away because you never know.
Travelling, isn't it? Travelling to Eastern Europe.
It's the travelling, and you never know what team's going to turn up. Because a lot of these teams have got nothing to lose. I mean, being in the Champions League, a lot of these teams, it's like every game's a cup final for them. You know what I mean? It's going to be tough. It's going to be really tough.
It's guys. If you can't get into the top 8, you have to make sure you're in the playoffs. So every game's got something on it. You know what I mean? We know for a fact that come the end of January, 11 teams. I think there's going to be 12 teams. Ain't going to be playing European football for the next season. That'd be their campaign over. The other 24, out of the other 24, 8 are definitely going to be in the last 16. The other ones have to fight amongst themselves, the other 16. So it's brilliant to watch. There's going to be an English team that's definitely going to get into at least their playoffs.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Don't rule out.
It's going to be interesting, mate. It's going to be really interesting.
A North London derby in the last
North London derby in the last 16. Yeah, imagine that. Imagine North London derby in the playoffs. That can happen, can't it?
No,
we can get an English team in the playoff, can't we?
Obviously, my arrogance is going to take over here, but we get the last 8 and they get into the playoffs.
Oh.
And if they win their playoff, they play us. Can you imagine it, home and away in Europe?
Oh, it's going to be massive.
North London in Europe,
massive, mate.
I've got even something that's going to make you sort of warm you up a bit, just like the old days, Jess. A North London derby in Europe in midweek.
Yeah,
under the lights.
That'd be a night.
We'll escort the Emirates and escort Tottenham Hotspur's ground.
No, Kenny, you'd be all right, mate. You'd be all right. You got the old Ashburton Army there, all 14 of them. That'd be
I'm well safe with them, aren't I?
Yeah. Right. You know what I mean?
The hooligans will be back. Ha ha ha. Oh man, I'd say they were some days they were running down the road, running back again, then running down the road again.
Did you see the video? I did send it to you a while back. The old meet of the herd.
There were some good ones, man. Good ones. It was good. But anyway, guys, listen, the chat. Make sure that you sub into Jez's. Make sure you follow into Kenny Ken. Make sure you sub into Arron. Smash a like on the video because that will help. Sorry about some of the chat tonight, but on the whole, my chat always brilliant. All my regulars in here, all the regulars that follow Jez and everyone. You're all top notch, guys. 100%, guys. Thank you very, very much for the following.
You've arrived, mate. You've arrived. If you the time you've arrived is when you've got your first threat. Once
Oh,
you get your first threat,
yeah.
that's when you know you've arrived.
Yeah. Trouble is, though, Kenny, what they don't realise, right? I get threatened anyway at the Arsenal when red members get a ticket off of someone's season ticket, yeah, and I'm shouting out all sorts of like, oh, what you reckon? I'll get threats anyway behind me and by the side of me. So it's nothing new. It's going to football. I mean, back in the day, you went to football and it was like, listen, when your ICF is storming the North Bank, mate, and you've got to stand there.
Hey, and you had to get the same train home with them.
Nothing scares me.
And you had to go home with them.
Exactly. I had to travel home with them all the way back to East London. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Service stations on the motorways, Jez. They weren't pretty sights, mate, were they?
Yeah,
you'd only pop in to get a sandwich, and all of a sudden you'd be running around the car park.
Yeah,
good old days. They were good days, though. They were good days. I'd never forget them days. They were good days.
Hey,
but anyway, thank you very, very much. When we finish here, I'm gonna go over to Rashid. It's the first stream I'm gonna do with him. I'm gonna join Rashid. I've never done a show with Rashid hosting, so really looking forward to that. So go show some love. We're gonna raid over. We're gonna go straight over to Rashid when it's finishing. But Jez, give yourself a shout, mate. What you got? What's happening?
Yeah, it's Jez's Arsenal. I'm 300 and something now away from 10k, so it's getting there slowly. Come on. Pulling teeth, but I might well be doing a very late night show tonight.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Just a rattle show, maybe a Q&A show. At some point later tonight, and then tomorrow I'm thankfully picking the wife up from hospital.
Yeah, I wish you all the best, man. Wish you all the best.
Get her back home.
Big up Mrs. Jez. Big up Mrs. Jez.
So that's always good. I'm looking forward.
Big up Mrs. Collins.
Make sure you go and show Jez some love tonight when he goes live. Make sure you get his subs up. And I'm only about 90 odd away, 80 odd away from 2k. So come on. If I can get to 2k, I'll be happy. If not, it doesn't matter. I'm happy anyway, guys, because I enjoy doing what I'm doing and involving the chat as well. So big up. Kenny, what you got coming up? Where can I find you?
You can find me at Kenny Kane 1972. There'll be no podcast, but a guy always asks me to do some videos for him. He's just a general London video, so I always do a video once a week for him. So that'll work for me. And I've got material now, haven't I? Because of events in N17, so I've got material. Mate,
you've got material now.
I've got material.
Tottenham are going to be massive now, mate. Owners are going to come in. He's going to sell it. Big Saudi owners. They're going to come in.
Yeah,
they're going to
be if they sell to us Saudis, we've had it. We've had it.
Spurs are going to be the next Man City now. You watch.
Hey, shit! Don't say that, mate.
Hey, it can happen though.
It could happen. This is what I'm saying. Listen, you know me. I always keep the feet on the ground and prepare people. I always get prepared.
You just depress me now.
Oh, sorry, man. Sorry, man.
Looking forward to my lovely tea tonight.
The new order. There's no such thing as the old order. The new order always comes and brings us down to earth. You know, look what Chelsea did to us.
Yeah,
came.
Yeah, it could happen. Imagine it. Imagine Spurs though having all this. It could happen.
No.
It could happen.
No.
Do you know what? Levy going could be a sign. Could be a sign that Levy goes, and then the next big news, Arteta's left the club.
Oh,
and Arsenal get a new manager. Who knows? It could all be happening in North London. It could all be happening in North London. Never say never in football. But guys, bless up to everyone. We're going to go over to Rashid now. Come and join us. Show Rashid some love. And Jez, thank you very much, my friend, as always. Kenny, the free old gits. Here we are. Here we are, guys. Here we are. We ain't going anywhere. So bless up, everyone. Enjoy. Stay safe. And we're gone. Catch you later.